we were given at the beginning a paper book called The Hospice Movement, and in it, the part that spoke to me, and I still remember it, was that in medieval times, hospice was a place where people stopped on their journey and were nourished there to carry on with their journey. And I thought, wow, this is something that would be wonderful to be able to help.
Larry called me and he suggested that we have some community meetings, and I think we met at your house that spring, March or April, and then he talked with you and you were gracious enough to give us a place to come and meet, and so there must have been about 14 or 15 of us there. Mm-hmm. The stress was on getting a board, some kind of group that was going to give direction and get us going, and we were talking at the table about who gave us the seed money. Someone gave us an office to use.
We were upstairs in the Baycock building at 132 West Station.
Yes.
And we met downstairs around the board table.
Right.
And we think the seed money came from BADC.
American Area Development
We were
Council.
getting like $200, and it was just huge. That was huge in '84, and that paid for our phone.
Right.
And maybe I think maybe we had a box number or something if people wanted to send us things. But mostly everybody donated time and everybody donated their talents. It was all volunteer. All the nurses gave their time. I gave my time. The ministers we would contact from churches for families, they gave their time. Our doctor gave his time. Everybody gave their time.
Do you remember how many patients we had?
Well, when we started, we actually saw 2 patients before we were licensed, and we had to explain to them we were just offering this as a gift, and it was a gift to us because, of course, it reaffirmed who we were and what we were doing, and they were very, very dear and precious cases to work on.
One of the first patients was a child.
Yes, the family had moved here from somewhere out east, and they had lost 2 infants to this illness. And they hadn't been able to get hospice care or supportive care where they lived. And she didn't want her family to go through that kind of pain alone again. Yeah, that was one of the very first cases we had, Roxy. But by the end of the first year, it seems to me we had 14 or 15 that we were working with, which was more than we thought we'd have.
I remember when we had 4 and we thought, this is it. I mean, we're really happy.
That's great. I remember those discussions about whether once we had 4 and then it grew a little more, are we really going to be a local hospice or are we going to be a regional hospice? And I think that's when the Hospice of Northeastern Illinois came up, because I remember you encouraging, saying there's needs outside of Barrington too that we need to think about. And you have to think about. And so I remember that discussion. And even though I think it started in Barrington, I think we were reaching out to other communities at the time.
Hospice was a very new thought, a new concept at that time. It was very much in its infancy and not accepted by a lot of people. Some people had a hard time accepting that there was a natural process called dying. So people would struggle with that, and hospice made people aware that, yes, indeed, there were failings in medicine and people could not overcome some illnesses, and that we had to find a way to help them with the dying process. So this was a very, very new thought at that time.
We were organizing coffees in people's homes to explain what Dr. Carlson has just been talking about. And then also hoping that they would help support it financially because we needed to get started.
I had a friend who used it for her father who was not really ill, was just old and died. And then Freddie called her. And that's the story. Again.
This is a very generous community, and I think everybody just started calling their friends, and the stories got through the community, and I think it just became a general awareness throughout Barrington that we were making a difference.
And somewhere around the 5th year or so, when we joined with Henry Woodstock, then the census went up and jumped all of a sudden to 40 to 50, because we got a lot of newspaper press, and we joined the volunteer group together, and we were having a lot lot of staffings. There was a lot of buzz about hospice after about the 5th year. I know the dream was that we were going to be able to build a center someday where we would be able to have classes and teach and do research and serve the people that we wanted to serve and have a special place for patients if they needed that care.
I have to tell you, every time I drive through the community and I look at our first office and I drive by where the Peppers have put the hospice for so many years now, and then I drive by the hospice home and I just get goosebumps thinking about it, because again, it's gone beyond our expectations. But I mean, I think the community has expressed overwhelmingly how much they support the hospice movement.
It has been this dream, and I think it's just that the dream is fulfilled as far as I'm concerned.
We're all blessed to be here to see it and celebrate it.